What is up? I'm Jared Welchie. Aaron Altman. It's Thursday, December 22nd, and this is Blinkers Off. What's up, man?
Well, Christmas miracle happened today, Jared.
What's that?
Endorsed broke a 23 race losing streak and won at Gulfstream Park earlier today. A miracle. I never thought I would ever see it. A miracle.
You mean he decided he would actually try to pass horses in the stretch?
He passed like 3 horses. Yes,
Wow.
He got next to him, and I'm like, okay, here comes the hang, and he went on with it, and he won. So yeah, like I said, I just like shook my head like, wow. And he was 8-5, and of course I didn't have him because it's like I'm not playing endorsing 8-5 ever. Well, 1 out of 23 times he does get the job done.
Did you just stand up and clap, just like a salute, like well done, buddy, well done?
I just shook my head like, wow, it actually happened. I was sitting here waiting for 2.5 years, but it happened.
Yeah, we are just 3 days out from Christmas here in Missouri, and I'm sure I think a lot of the country is super cold right now. We are getting snow. It's disgusting out. It doesn't feel like racing by any means. Is it awful in Joplin? It's awful here.
Yes, it is awful. It's awful. There's about 3 or 4 inches of snow, and it's minus 21 right now. So
yeah,
it's nice, beautiful day.
I tried to explain to my son because he wanted to go play in the snow, and I said, "Son, you would die." And he's like, "Oh, you would die." I was like, "No, you quite literally would probably die if you played in the snow very long." He's like, "I only thought a knife could kill you." And so I had a whole discussion of the different ways you can die.
Sounds like a good
day. It's been that kind of day for us.
Yeah, you're having fun. Having fun.
Yeah. The things 6-year-olds ask you and say. So yeah, but no, I mean, after this, I think we're gonna go. I've worked out a compromise. He's gonna play in it just on the kind of outside on the downstairs patio. Let him play around outside, just enough to freeze off his fingertips a little bit, and then we'll call it good. So you don't have to worry about that. No one in your house is going outside. I mean, I guess Philly does. So
yes, the dog has been outside. She loves the snow, so she's happy. She's very happy about it. But yeah, the cat, she just stares at the snow, just kind of looks at it. She has no interest in going outside, so that's good.
Philly's like she's like what are those, like the Malamute Huskies? She's like a sled dog. She could go out and pull some sleds in this weather.
We told her, I think you were a sled dog in another life. Yeah. She was out earlier. Just came back just covered in snow. She didn't act like she cared. And like I said, it's like minus 20. It doesn't bother.
You got your Christmas shopping done?
I'm done. Oh yeah. I'm way done. I'm way past done. It's just time for it to get here now. Like get it over with.
It's like the worst combo right now. I was out yesterday. And you know how it is. I don't know. I mean, it might be different places of the country when they're used to getting snow. But Missouri, when we have any kind of prediction of snow, any kind of forecast of snow, it's like it might as well be a meteor hit coming towards Missouri. Everyone's out. They're trying to get their, for whatever reason, they feel like they got to survive on bread and milk and eggs. but that's what they do. And so you had that combination of Christmas shopping, right? It's final week of Christmas, and then so it was insanity. Doesn't even begin to describe what it was like out yesterday evening in Springfield. So I wrapped it up. I got as much stuff as I could, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna call this good on the Christmas shopping. I'm done.
It gets wild out. You're right, and like I said, everybody's at the grocery store. Everybody is just in an absolute panic. Like I said, you could pretty much any kind of car you want to drive could get through anything that we ever get 99 times out of 100. But I can remember maybe one time my whole life where I could not get out of the house.
Yeah. I mean, you could get like it's not, I mean, you can drive, especially in my truck, you can drive in your Jeep, you can get out. It'd be no problem. It's just cold. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to get out, but anyways, Colin started Christmas break yesterday. And so it's like, it kind of sucks because he's out anyways, so he's kind of looking forward to his first kind of official snow day. But we're ready. We are ready. I'm telling you what, I'll have to update. I can't do it now because got the boys here. They'll hear. But let's just say I'll have to update after Christmas. These kids, Santa's gonna have to get a second job after Christmas. I know that.
I think so. Yeah.
Just wait until you hear this. As I say, it's gonna be good. Anyways, all right. Anything that what happened last week? Anything happened last week that we need to talk about that before we get into what happened today? Oh, yeah, we should talk a little bit about Arabian Lion.
Yeah.
Kind of a big draft pick, your draft pick, unfortunately, but it would have been a draft pick for most anybody that had that position there. And last in the Los Alamitos charity, man, what happened there?
I would have rather him got last than second by like gotten beat a length, because last to me means something happened. Like maybe he bled, maybe he got hurt, something. I don't know. It was a very weird race. He just completely stopped. Then yeah, Shotty's draft pick Practical Move gets a win. Looks great.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, Fort Bragg was in that race and he finished ahead of Practical Move the last time they matched up with each other. And then there at Los Al in this race, Practical Move's way ahead of everybody. So it was really strange how that worked. It was a strange race. And I really don't have any kind of explanation for what happened at Los Al. My biggest thing is, hey, I don't worry about Los Al because it does seem like strange things happen at that track.
We don't worry about Remington either, I guess, because of Giant Mischief misses the break in a bad way. But that one, I don't remember who drafted that horse, but that one you feel a little bit better about it because I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't think he's that bad of a horse. I thought he ran his ass off considering the break. Now, if you have Echo again, John and Ryan, that horse I think is kind of trash. But Giant Mischief, I thought he ran really good considering how bad he broke.
Oh, I totally agree. I think if you have Giant Mischief, your biggest problem is still, I don't know how far he really wants to go, but if you talk about talent in a racehorse, that's what you want to see, right? Yes, he got second, but lost all chance at the break and then made a rush type of move on the turn. Just like a wow, eye-catching like a type of move. Kind of remind me of like a Secret Oath type of move that we saw from her a little bit this year. Just a crazy move and then flattened out a bit like you would think. Also, Wild Atlantic Storm, the winner of that race, he's kind of a tough horse. He's going to make you earn it. And if you do something dumb like what Giant Mischief did, you're probably not going to beat him. And so, that's the other thing. Giant Mischief, talk about Echo again. He dominated Echo again, even with the break, but he just couldn't beat Wild Atlantic Storm. The time came back pretty fast. The speed figure came back pretty fast. I think those top two finishers are decent in that race.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, Shotty, I agree with you. That was my horse, but yeah, he did get drafted. From back to the Los Al, like I'm with you. I think obviously the jury's still out because that was such a bad effort, but it was so bad that you feel like with your horse, Arabian Lion, that something had to have happened. Like you said, like if the horse ran like tough, but just like couldn't, or like faded towards the end, then you're like, that's a little more concerning to me. Yeah. Now, the concern is Spafford's got 14,000 different 2-year-olds, it seems like right now. Is that a horse that we don't see again until March or whatever? You just never know with how he's going to campaign some of these, considering what we saw. But I do agree that you can't really cross that through. And then with Carmel Road, to me, he's the kind of horse, I can't think of a name off the top of my head, but it's just like a horse he's going to run in all those Santa Anita races, and he's gutty enough to where he's going to finish second and third most of the time. Maybe he gets lucky and wins one. But I had read some reports about how when he works, he doesn't like to let horses go by. So he kind of showed that even though he did let Practical Move go by. He's a gutty horse. I think he'll pick up some points down the road. But I don't think he's overly like great. I just think he's going to be serviceable.
It just depends on, like I said, Bafford's got so many of them. Who's the one they choose to go to like Sunland with, right? It's like, oh, there we go. That's the one that could be that. Yeah, they're just okay, but they pick up a lot of points for him, And I think Carmel Road definitely has that look, without a doubt. He has a kind of he could get second and third in a lot of these races that are going to come up, especially when you got horses just quitting like Arabian Lion.
And it's probably not a good comparison because that Medina Spirit, was better. But Medina Spirit was kind of that horse that ran in a lot of those races out there. Of course, he had Life is Good, but kind of kept getting second and, right behind these other horses just because he wasn't good enough, but he was good enough to pick up points. Yeah, Paul, we're not going to talk about Barber Road. I mean, I guess we could, but still is not winning. So sorry.
Well, if you watch we should talk about it for a second, because you watch our YouTube page. I actually did a video on when to go against, strong favorites, and Barber Road was the subject big time because, in this allowance race last weekend, once you see his name, it's like, oh, thank God, he's going to be 4 to 5 in this spot. Now we can go against somebody and really create value with trying to beat a favorite. And that's forever what Barber Road's going to be. And until, I just don't know what race they could put him in where he's going to be bettable at 4 to 5. Now, again, if he's 5, 6 to 1, you go, I'll take a shot with him. Okay, I get it. But 4 to 5, it's just not there.
Yeah, I want January 1st to get here shoddy as well so I can put my first claim in. So, but no, yeah, we have basically a week away here. We got some more, another Derby prep, some of our, the Sugar Bowl with horses that are not, and, a lot of horses making those starts that aren't earning points, but kind of making that final preparation as we get into the new year. So let's get into today's show, because we do have some big 3-year-old racing and, of course, the 2-year-old racing at Fairgrounds. Today's show, we're going to preview and get picks for Mondays. That's right, the December 26th, day after Christmas, the RUNHAPPY Malibu Stakes at Santa Anita Park. Taba, see if he can make his case for 3-year-old honors in that race. Then we're giving some rapid fire selections for some of the remaining major stakes races this holiday weekend at Santa Anita Park and Fairgrounds, including the 100K Gun Runner, a Derby prep, and the Untapable at Fairgrounds, a Oaks prep. Let's go.
If you're watching Fairgrounds, Strobe, a horse that actually beat the Breeders' Cup sprint winner this season, just won at Fairgrounds and won by about the length of the stretch.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he actually beat Elite Power. I believe it was at Churchill Downs earlier in the year.
What's the horse's name?
Strobe.
Strobe.
He was horrible last time out. But I think the slop, he just hated it because he's back. He's now 3 for 3 on a fast track. He's pretty nice. Brad Cox trainee. So probably see a stakes race next, I would think.
It's tough to beat Brad Cox.
God, it is.
I feel like with him and Baffert, it's basically going to be impossible this year, at least early on, with just figuring out what 2-year-old / soon to be 3-year-old is going to be good. There's just no way. Other than some of these the ones that are in stakes races already, K-Brox or, even I guess you can Arabian Night, but still, even him, you don't know. It's just, I feel like there's so much left to know, especially these Brad Cox horses. We're not going to find out a lot about these horses until, February, March, when it comes to which ones are for real, which ones want to go long, which one, you know what I mean? So it's going to be, even though I feel like the class is very deep, trying to solve who's underneath, who's these good horses, man, it's impossible right now.
Yeah. I know it's weird. I think there's more talent at this point than there was at last year at this point, but figuring out who's who is kind of a little bit more sketchy. Like last year, when you got a bunch of horses that are just haven't been very good and you got a few that have, well, it's easy to kind of separate them. Now, I feel like everybody's kind of clumped together.
Yeah. And, like Shoddy's saying, there's a horse on Monday for Baffert, Foston. What if, we could be sitting here, all of us thinking, oh my gosh, who's the horse that we need to, not name K-Rock or not name Arabian, Night or whoever, who's that other Baffert? And it could be a horse that we haven't heard of, or maybe it's this one, it's just, it's you'll learn, Shoddy. There's a lot of claiming that goes on in this thing, necessarily so. Don't get too attached to horses.
You would think somebody out of that race at Santa Anita on Monday, that maiden, will get claimed. That's a pretty loaded maiden because there's a Mandela in there that Flavian Pratt is on.
Yeah.
Who might be really good too. So that's an interesting race. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, Shotty's like, you're gonna. I mean, I did win the league 2 years ago, and I never made a claim. So I mean, it is possible you can do it, but it wasn't. I lost some shakes too, though, so it wasn't like I didn't try to claim. But it really only takes 1 or 2 to be really good, and you can win the thing. So yeah, if you like, maybe it's practical, whatever it is, practical move. Maybe that's your horse.
Maybe could be the one. Maybe take the whole thing.
All right, let's get into it. Let's do the RUNHAPPY. Monday, Santa Anita Park, race 10, the day after Christmas, December 26th, race 10, the RUNHAPPY Malibu Stakes, grade 1, $300K for 3-year-olds, going 7 furlongs, field of 9. It's good to see a field. You kind of sometimes wonder if this is going to be like a field of 4 or 5, but we got a field of 9 here, and it's definitely Taba's race to lose. Number 6, Taba, your 6-5 morning line favorite, made by John White. 3-1 on Forbidden Kingdom. Yeah, that Forbidden Kingdom, if you kind of forgot about him. And then 6-1 on Messier. Yeah, that Messier, 6-1. Those really seem like your 3 sort of threats. I should say your likely winner and then your 2 threats. 2 very speedy horses as well, the 1 and the 2. Taba Halterman, he looks to make a case. We'll talk a little bit about this more in a little bit, but he looks to make his case for 3-year-old of the year, male 3-year-old of the year. Will he get this done on Monday?
It seems very hard pressed to go against him in the spot. He definitely looks to be the standout of the field. Of course, the horse that ran 3rd last time out in the Breeders' Cup Classic, 2-time grade 1 winner this season. I think it's back to Santa Anita where he's 2 for 2. I think that's kind of a buried lead on him as well. Gets back to his home track finally. I kind of think the cutback's going to be fine. His race on debut looked pretty damn good. It looked good enough to win here. He seems like a standout. I think it's going to be hard to go against him in the spot. I think if you are going to go against him, I think his stable makes the most sense. Number 2, Messier.
I mean, okay, so the horse was beyond awful in his return but now he's back home. Surely he can. He got beat by 25 lengths that day to Nakatomi that day at the Breeders' Cup, and I think we all kind of thought this is weird that he's even in this race. Messier that day. But Velasquez is back aboard. It's Baffert. He's got 2 wins and 3 starts at Santa Anita. The other one was a second, in which case he got beat by, I think it was, who was it that beat him? It's Taba. Yeah, in the Santa Derby. I was like, oh, of course. But yeah, obviously he's ran really well there. I too think if the cutback should help him as well.
I think the cutback's going to help. I think you can draw a line through the last one. He bled in that race, and it doesn't really matter. Once the horse starts to bleed, they're going to get beat by many lengths. So you draw a line through that. You could say you could draw a line through the Kentucky Derby where he just set at a crazy pace, actually stuck his nose in front for a minute there before obviously fading. You take those 2 races out. I think he's the best horse in this race, or second best horse in this race. Let me be clear, second best by far. I really don't think it's really that much of a debate. And I'm with you. I kind of think the cutback's going to help him. He's another horse. He's had 1 race at 7 furlongs. It was a win, and he won at 6 furlongs as well. So to me, I kind of think he kind of gets a little bit of a stocking trip. I think Taba sits behind him. I think they move in tandem, and I kind of think it's between these 2 stablemates going down the stretch.
Do you think there's any case that we can make here that, on debut, of course, this horse hadn't ran. It's been the weirdest career, right, for Taba, because after that debut at 6 furlongs, he's done nothing but go at least 1.8 miles in every race, just from straight to that. So in a way, he's getting some relief here. Certainly even class relief as well. And so the point I'm trying to make there is that race, that debut, he went gate to wire basically and went and blazed. Like he went like 22 and 45, 109 and change, like he flew. Could we see him on the lead? I mean, do you think maybe they don't mess around and say maybe he just is the best horse and they say no? Or even if he doesn't, is he going to be? I find it hard to believe he's not very much hard pressing whoever is close to the lead.
Well, it's weird. You make a good point. Everybody and their brother thought going into the Santa Anita Derby, well, he's got one shot, take him gate to wire. He was leading in a sprint race, and now he's stretching out to a route race. How is he not going to be on the lead? Look at the pace projections. Yeah, he's definitely going to be on the lead. He wasn't. He hasn't been on the lead ever again since that maiden win, going one turn.
Not even close, dude.
No. And so you look at the past performances. In no way would you think he's going to be on the lead. He has not been on the lead in 2-turn races, so he shouldn't be on the lead in a 1-turn race. However, like you said, the one time he raced 1 turn, he was in front. So I don't know. I think he's going to be about mid-pack, but I'm not going to be shocked if he's further up.
There's a lot of you would think not. I mean, and because like the 9 straight no chaser has speed, and then of course Forbidden Kingdom and Messier have a ton of speed. Forbidden Kingdom is, I mean, that's, you talk about a horse who's got one shot. It's him. So you would think you're not going to want to go out and mess around with that early on. But no matter what, I do think we're going to see him. He stumbled a little bit in the Classic. Put him further back, early on. Of course, he was so far back anyways because of flight line, but still, he's had a little bit of trouble out of the gate a few times. But you got to think they're not hoping to sit here and be like 5 or 6 lengths off the lead. They're going to want Taba to be sitting pretty close here, because I think given that they're going the 1 turn, cutting back here 7 furlongs, you got to think that, talk about speed. I mean, he can bring it.
You see, and kind of what you're going with here, and your thought process is something I agree with. I want him in the race a little bit closer today on Monday, I should say. What if he's not? And that's my worry, because if Messier was to get the jump on him going this distance, and say Messier's really feeling it that day, it's going to be tougher to run him down than it was when they went 1 mile and 1/8. And so that scares me a little bit. I mean, even a horse like Forbidden Kingdom, who hasn't been great off the layoff, the last 2 races have not been what we've seen from him, earlier in the year. Do they get the jump on Taba? And I'm with you. It's like, on paper, no, they shouldn't, because he does have that elite type of speed. He just hasn't shown it or been asked for it. And then you got the Mike Smith factor. It's like, will he push the issue, or will he just be riding him like he's rode him in the past?
I know, right?
It's an odd situation. I do think he's faster than the 3 horses to his outside, minus the 9, but I think the 9's only chance is to just go straight to the front. So I think Taba gets an outside trip. I think he's in the clear for most of the race, which is good. That's what you want. Where he's positioned is going to be interesting. And I kind of agree. Michael said Forbidden Kingdom might just be done. If he is, he's going to fade about 5 furlongs in. Messier is going to take it over. And if Messier doesn't bleed and has no problems, that's going to get interesting, because he's going to get the jump on the other 2. Nakatomi, I think, has got a shot, and Taba, both going to maybe come from the back. So can he get the jump on him enough to hold him off? It's a chess match from a rider standpoint in this race. This is a very interesting race from a pace scenario when you've got a horse like Taba, who you're not quite sure where he's going to sit in this race.
Well, you would think, I mean, Messier makes it a little bit more interesting, because he's surely not going to try to screw up that horse too much. But if, Forbidden Kingdom has ran twice since April, and both of them were not good, kind of speed and fade type efforts. Messier ran once since May, bled, didn't run well, obviously. So you have a horse like Taba, who's fresh, who's been running long, who's been running all the biggest races in the country all year for 3-year-olds. He pushed a little pressure on them early. They might fold like a cheap tent pretty quick in that race, which kind of makes it set up very nicely for Taba. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen.
I think that's a very likely scenario. I think, Taba sitting about 3 off of it and let Messier go do his thing and then just gobble him up is the most likely scenario. And listen, he's the class. Taba is the class, without any question. Class of the race. He's already shown he could zoom right by Messier once. He should be able to do it again. But again, Messier is talented enough to where if he gets some kind of jump on him, then you got to kind of worry about it.
Do you want to say hi?
We have visitors here. What's up,
Say Merry
buddy? Are you excited?
You say hi.
Hi.
What do you guys want for Christmas?
Wow. We're getting
What do you want for Christmas? Huh? Oculus. What do you want?
Oculus.
Power Ranger toys.
Power Ranger toys.
I thought you wanted Flash toys.
He changed his mind. He's changing his mind about every day, so Santa's really got his work cut out for him.
Well, thankfully Santa doesn't have much going on, and he can go return stuff and get new stuff. Right?
What's Aaron want for Christmas? Did you ask him? Huh?
Maybe a new iPhone.
A new iPhone. That's pretty good.
That is a very good thing. I need one. Yes.
He
It's
needs
not
a new
doing
iPhone.
good.
I
It's
bet.
broke.
He always has an old iPhone.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys,
got it.
let Daddy finish.
Yeah.
What?
Where's your mouse at?
There you go.
Where's your mouse?
It's right here. Right here. Hey, let Daddy finish. Right? Okay.
But how is
We're in the middle. We're literally live right now. Okay. He's over there asking. I got a question to ask. Anyways, all right. Hey, by the way, we're talking about Taba, boys. They love Taba. All right. So next point I wanted to bring up here. If he, by the way, Shoddy, Power Rangers is still very much in. I don't know if you know that or not with these young kids. I know we watch the same Power Rangers that we watch sometimes. And it's pretty funny. Okay. If Taba were to win, let's pull up the comparisons here. If Taba were to win, what does he need to do? Does it need to be a flashy win? And what can he do to make his case for 3-year-old of the year? If he did, he would have won the Santa Anita Derby, which is a grade 1, second in the Haskell, grade 1, won the Pennsylvania Derby, and third in the Classic, and then first in the Malibu. So that would give him 3 grade 1s in the year, a third place finish in the Classic, and a second place in the Haskell. Is that enough to overtake Epicenter?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's going to be enough for a lot of voters. I really do. How many? I'm not sure. I think a lot of people will look and they don't really look at anything other than grade 1 wins. And he's going to have 3 of them if he wins under the scenario you said. So they'll look at that and they'll go, well, 3 grade 1 wins, that trumps everything. And they'll just vote him. So I still think Epicenter is going to win it. I do think, though, that this horse, Taba, has got a decent shot at overtaking him with a win. He's going to have to look really, really good, too. I think Shoddy mentioned it. Going to have to dominate. Can't come out here and win by a half length. Going to have to be a really nice win. But I think those grade 1s are going to mean a lot. And it's kind of unfair to Epicenter in a way because, Epicenter wins the Risen Star in the Louisiana Derby, but since they're grade 2s, then they don't count as much as the terribly weak Santa Anita Derby that was a grade 1. So that's kind of the problem. I hope people kind of look into that a little bit more, but we'll see.
Here's the thing, though. Like you said, one, you have recency factor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Jesse. But you have the recency factor. That always is a huge key. The last time we saw Epicenter, he was being vanned off, which I know is not his not his fault, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
The last time we see Taba, let's just say he pretty much wins the Malibu somewhat impressively, making 3 grade 1s on the year versus, as you can see on the screen, 1 for Epicenter, which was the Travers, which is a huge race. It's second to the Kentucky Derby. It's really for 3-year-olds of the year. It's your big one to win, but he didn't win races like the Derby. He should have won. He didn't win the Preakness. He should have won. If you win either one of those, I don't think there's a debate.
Well, if we're sitting here talking about like a college football team, who's going to get in the 4th choice or the 5th choice here? Who's that last spot, right? And my argument always is when you have a season where you leave it up for debate, you have to be satisfied with whatever happens, because you probably, if it's up for this kind of debate, you blew it yourself, right?
Yeah.
You could say that for Epicenter. He's left this thing up to debate because he didn't finish the job in the Derby or the Preakness. Either one of those wins, and there's absolutely no debate whatsoever. I still think he's going to win. But if he doesn't, you look back and you say, well, he had his chances and he blew it. There's no way to really get around it. And I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I think it's just what's more important to you. Personally, I would still vote Epicenter because he was around the whole year. He danced all the big dances. I don't really care that the Louisiana Derby is rated a grade 2 and the Santa Anita Derby is a grade 1, kind of equal footing to me. So, I would still go Epicenter, but I'm not going to sit here and throw a fit if people vote Taba, because it's subjective. It's your vote and you can do what you want with it. And it's debatable. And he agrees.
Give me an old license.
Yeah. You needed it.
Well, I'm with you. I do. I don't know that there's a wrong answer. I think it's going to be close. If I'm being honest, I think, if you want to talk about a horse that's earned it more, I know it'd probably be Epicenter. I mean, he kind of went to every dance, basically, ran all year and ran tough all year. I mean, frankly, should have won every race, like we're seeing on the screen, all those races, probably should have won all of them, And so that's the problem. But unfortunately, he only had one grade 1. Honey, we are working. Can you give me a little bit more time and then I'll do something? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm losing them, dude. I'm losing them.
Yep.
We've
officially
officially lost
show it
them.
myself.
Bring Shotty on. She'll help you.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. It may be a moot point. I mean, if he can't get the job done, Taba, that is, on Monday, we won't have a discussion, I guess. So he, kind of like you said, if you leave it up for debate, then what do you expect? So if you're Taba, don't leave it up for debate. Go out there and beat the hell out of them and make a case for it. So and I think if you're Mike Smith or you're Baffert, you're probably telling them, like, if you have the horse, you can get it done, freaking put on a show to give them that final view of what they can, what he can do.
Well, and even in Taba's case, he's left it up to the vote. If he would have won the Haskell, it probably would not be a debate either, right? So him losing that Haskell has left it into the voters' hands as well. I don't blame him for the Kentucky Derby. I mean, that was crazy to try that, but it's left into the voters' hands because these horses just couldn't quite, get that slam dunk seal the deal, and this is what we're left with.
All right. We'll find out on Monday, day after Christmas, December 26th. We'll see if Taba can get the job done in the Malibu. Number 6, Taba. That's who Halter and I are both going with here.
All right. Quick rapid fire here.
Quick. I don't know what.
You've got 5 minutes at the most.
You brought me in an old license and a $1 bill. So I don't know what we're doing in there. I'm afraid to ask. But yeah, we'll find out in a second. That's always the fun game of whenever I'm on here I have them. It's like, what did they do while I was in here?
Yeah.
But everyone, you know how it was when you're on like a snow day, like if you're cooped up inside. What do you expect?
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
All right. Time for Rapid Fire, presented by the Inside Track to the 2022 Malibu Stakes Wagering Guide. Get the all-inclusive 13-page wagering guide available soon at racingdudes.com on the products page. It covers all the stakes races, 6 stakes races on Monday at Santa Anita Park, including, of course, the Malibu Stakes that we just talked about, plus race-by-race analysis, betting suggestions, and multi-race plays for Santa Anita's entire Monday card. Remember, that's the holiday card on Monday following Christmas on Malibu Day. So make sure you go get your hands on that. Should be available for pre-sale here in the next couple hours. And then the final guide should be available by tomorrow morning. That's Friday morning. All right, guys, let's kick things off here. We're going to go back a few races at Santa Anita on Monday. Race 8, the Livestream Stakes, grade 1, $300K for fillies, 3-year-olds, going 7 furlongs. Baffert's got a few in here, Alterman, 4 to be exact, and kind of all of them you can make a case for winning this thing. 5-2 on Midnight Memories is your favorite, but you kind of have your pick of any of the Bafferts, or are you going to try to beat Baffert here? What do you think?
No, I'm not going to try to beat him. I went with the number 1 Under the Stars on top. I went back and forth on this for a while. Actually, just kind of finished this up the last couple hours. Just feel like Under the Stars at this distance is going to be pretty tough. I think the horse is going to get a really nice pace set up. Hot Peppers is in here along with a couple other horses that are really fast up front. I think Under the Stars can come from out of it. I really think it's between the Under the Stars and Midnight Memory. I just think Under the Stars at 7 furlongs and at Santa Anita going to be pretty tough to beat. You know, last time out got beat by CC. I don't think there's horses as good as CC in this race. So I'm going to take a shot with the horse on the rail here.
I don't hate that, but I kind of went with a different angle, and I went with kind of the sort of new shooters, so to speak, and that's number 3, Ganadora for Bob Baffert. I like the fact that this is the horse that JV is got on here. John Velasquez has decided to ride. You know, the last start just completely destroyed a field going gate to wire, and really, I mean, it was going 7 furlongs that day, or going a mile, 7 furlongs today. I think that's going to only help this horse. This horse has got a ton of speed, showed it. I like the progression that this horse is making. Big time horse, big time purchase horse who kind of is just kind of disappointed in terms of maybe whether it been injuries or whether it been trouble or whatever, but maybe started getting on the right path here after that huge blowout win. I just think this horse might be untested, and maybe you're going to get a little bit better price. So I'm with you. I think Midnight Memories is dangerous. I think Under the Stars is dangerous. I mean, certainly these are the classier horses of the Baffert Brigade. But how about this 3? I think this 3 is interesting, and you're getting the best price of them, of those 3. So I want number 3, Ganadora.
I like it.
By the way, I know we keep getting some comments shoddy. We'll talk about the tournament here in a little bit, but yes, the tournament is. You should be, if you go into your dashboard on horsetourneys.com, go into your account, you should be entered into that championship, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. Shoddy, just chill, okay?
It's not just shoddy, Bree as well.
Kids yelling at me, and I don't know if you guys could see it. Whenever you were talking there, I muted myself, and I had to give him a little bit of a, just give me a second. You know, I had to grind the teeth a little bit.
I've been watching you every time I talk, and I try to talk more if it looks like you're not ready yet. So.
I appreciate it. Don't like ask any questions that I'm gonna have to answer.
Yeah.
Just kind of keep rolling. If you see me in the background, like, you know, wrangling them and stuff, just keep going, keep vamping.
I've kept it simple, and I've tried to ramble when you needed me to ramble. So
appreciate it. You did good. You did real good. Yeah, Jesse, I had to put the hammer down. Just you know, it's not. Yeah, we've all had that stern warning from our parents. You know, you're just like, give me a second.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll be in there in a second. We've been on go since this morning. Give Daddy a second. Okay. All right. Let's go to Fairgrounds on Monday, on that holiday Monday. Race 11, the Gunrunner Stakes, 100K for 2-year-olds, about to be 3-year-olds, going to mile 16th. This is a Kentucky Derby. Prep race 10, 4, 3, 2, 1 for your top 5 finishers. And 7 is entered here, Alterman, and you are the dictator. So you tell me, but I know 1's in here for sure off of in the fantasy league, number 3. But what do you think of this race, and what kind of implications do you think this is going to have as we see these horses turn to 3-year-olds?
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of every one of these horses, almost every one of them, I'll say, could be they're not any good, or could be wow, they kind of are improving and they're decent. This is a weird race. I kind of in the beginning it was kind of like, yeah, this is pretty weak. But when you get to looking, it's like, well, some of these could jump up and really do well. I think it's going to be a really kind of a wide open race. I went number 3 determinedly on top. I love that Luis Saez is getting aboard here for the second straight time. And listen, last time out, an easy winner and 2 races back, got smoked by Arabian Night, but that's a pretty good horse. So I think the 3 is the one to beat in here. But it's dicey. Some of these other ones have shown a little bit of potential as well. I just like the 3 with Saez aboard a little bit more than the rest.
Yeah, that's kind of where I went as well. I really wanted to put the 1 on top. I just can't trust McPeak. That's my, my rule. I can't play that guy at 7-2. But
Fair rule.
Well, especially when his last 2 races, the horse was 27-1 and 22-1, 6-1, 7-1, 57-1. I mean, come on, it's like now I'm supposed to play him at 7-2. It's like
I get it.
What? Listen, this horse has ran 6 lifetime starts and has been, let's say, all around up 13-1, 9-1, 58-1, 7-1, 27-1, and 23-1 is what this horse has been off of. And I need to take 7-2 now. No, not going to happen. Not even remotely close. Jace's Road. Certainly, I got my eyes on this one because this is an interesting horse. The Iroquois didn't run bad, didn't run really great. Really ran real poorly last time out in the street sense, but maybe you could argue that didn't like just wasn't liking the track that day, had some issues in the gate, sloppy, whatever. So maybe needed one. Maybe, thing is about these horses, like, how it is, these fairground horses, you gotta, sometimes if you get the hot horse, you can ride them throughout the whole meet because they go in these fairground races and they run well. I like the 3 too. That's kind of my play here. I think I like the fact the Saez is back aboard. It is kind of gutsy to go, it took a while to break that maiden. And then as soon as I did, to go right to here, maybe that could turn out to be a little bit bold. Arabian Night, 2 back, finished second, of course, got dominated, but someone had to finish second, and it was him, and then showed that effort the next time out and won by 7 himself, determinedly that did. So I think that's a horse that's got some upside. And doesn't Vinny have this horse in our league?
Yeah, he does. Is
this the only horse?
This is the only one. Yeah, it's interesting. Field of 7 is the only one that got drafted, but I had the 1, the 2, and the 7 on my list. I didn't draft them. So like, that's what I kind of meant. Like, there's like fringe horses that could jump up and be like, yeah, I knew that horse. I knew about him, thought about him, blah, blah, blah. So, but yes, the only one in the league right now is the 3.
Yeah. Okay. So keep an eye on this one. Of course, this is Derby related, so obviously implications, and no Baffert horses, so they're all going to earn points here. Number 3 determinedly is both of our picks. Let's see if we can make this if we can make all these fairground races the same here. Halterman, race 12, Untapable Stakes, worth $100K for fillies, 2-year-old fillies, going 1 mile and 70 yards. It is a Kentucky Oaks prep race, 10-4-3-2-1 for your top 5 finishers, and a larger field here, field of 10 lines up, and you've got kind of in a similar race in a sense that you just don't quite have a clear idea of who you want to play here. I mean, to me, it's like you go all over the map, and really, I'm not going to fault you. I think this is a race you can take shots. I don't know how I feel about playing like a 7-2 on that 4 horse, or they always look at 4-1. To me, this is a race that's just completely wide open.
It is. I ended up going with one of those horses you're not sure on, and that is the 4 Vava at 7-2. Kind of the same thing as determinedly, and why I just said, well, let's just go with both of them. They got the same look to them, right? Luis Saez is here. He jumps aboard. Last time out, Luis Saez was on the horse, won by 3 lengths in a maiden special weight at Churchill. So has that same look of like a nice Churchill Downs, maiden special weight winner, just like the horse in the last race we talked about. So I'll give Vava a shot. I'm a huge fan of Cherie DeVoe. I think she does a fantastic job. I think she's got a pretty nice horse on her hands. The first 2 losses of the year came at Saratoga against pretty decent horses. Now, we got Churchill got the win. This is a horse that should love the stretch out. I think 2 turns is where this horse is ultimately going to be very good. Horse by Gun Runner out of a Harlan's Holiday Mare should be pretty good going longer. So I think Vava is going to be tough here. I like her on top.
Yeah, I have no problem with playing the 1 and the 4 here as well. I liked both of those. I come with you. I kind of was like back and forth on both of them. Couldn't decide on which one I liked more. Felt the same, shorter prices, so I kind of went elsewhere. I do think I'll be using those horses, but how about the 9? Hey, and you're gonna do you know how to pronounce that? Hey, Untapable. Hey,
let's do it. Yeah, I have no idea.
Number 9. Now, I'll just call the horse number 9. This horse debuted, finished 3rd to Miss Shipman that day in a sloppy track, going 5.5 furlongs. Then stretched out. It's both at Fairgrounds. Stretched out, going to mile 16th, and just really cruised. Never really was tested that day. Won by 5, almost 6 lengths. It has showed a lot of more early speed, I thought. And so, to me, this is a horse that is by Golden Sense. Maybe doesn't want to go super long. Mile 70 shouldn't be an issue, though. It has that speed that the Golden Sense kind of had, it seems like. And to me, this horse has been working out great. I think you're going to see a nice effort out of this one. Is the horse good enough? I don't, we'll find out, but you're getting 10-1 on the horse on the morning line. I would much rather play that versus playing, 3-1 or 7-2 on those other ones. So give me the 9, the horse I can't pronounce. Hayana Veno. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think I think that's gonna be a horse with a big shot.
I like the outside post, and that the horse can sit, can go or can kind of sit off if it needs to, but show a little bit of a little tactical speed. And then they cut, winning like the horse did, going from 5.5 furlongs to mile 16th, and winning like the horse did, then getting a little bit of a cutback. I think the horse will be pretty on her toes.
I think you're right.
We'll see. Not mentioned in the race. Yeah, we did it. I was gonna say not mentioned in the race is race. It's early in the card, I think. Race 4, the Sugar Bowl, which is for 2-year-olds as well. And I don't know if I know Corona Bolt's in there. But is there any other ones in early? I don't think so. But a lot of 2-year-olds, a race that we've seen 2-year-olds go into that kind of move on to the Derby circuit afterwards. But obviously Corona Bolt, a horse that I landed on, but a lot of us, I think, wanted. So I'm interested to see what that horse does for Brad Cox.
I'm very interested to see what happens in that race. There's a couple that are decent sprinters. But yeah, the Corona Bolt, Cox certainly sounds like he wants to stretch him out after this race. So need to see a good performance out of him. I think we will. He looked pretty nice on debut.
All right, that's all the time we have. Check us out at racingnews.com for our free picks and our premium selections on our products page. Click the Get Racing News premium button at the menu at racingnews.com to learn more. Remember, we are your destination site for all free horse racing picks to all the major horse racing tracks. Go get your hands on that inside track to the 2022 Malibu Stakes Wagering Guide, available soon at racingdudes.com. And what everybody's been asking about, the Racing Dudes Tournament Challenge Championship is this Monday on Malibu Day. The entire Santa Anita card on Malibu Day. So this is what you need to know. It's not a public tournament. You've had to qualify. So if you've qualified, we've kept track. There's 40 qualifiers total over the last, I don't know, a couple months we've been doing this. 40 are in the 40 people tournament, winner take all. So if you did qualify, and if you're not sure if you qualified, go look at, just log into your Horse Tourneys account, go into your entries, and you'll see the entry there if you qualified. Shadi, I know you did. it should be in there. And you just got, it should be available now to go ahead and make your picks. If not, it will be in there soon. But the tournament is in there. You just got to play 40 people. Remember, winner take all. The winner will win $500 cash money from yours truly's. I don't know how you say that plural, but
like
our
that.
truly's.
Yeah.
Our truly's. Yeah. Anyways, $500 if you are a premium subscriber like you are, Shoddy. So if you aren't, what are you waiting for? You get a $250 bonus, so $750 cash money for you, Shoddy. All you just got to do. All you got to do is win it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
we're rooting for you. Two guys that aren't in it, we're rooting for you, Shoddy. So
I'm not rooting for her.
Well, I am. See, just remember that next time you want to trade and you're trying to decide who to trade with. It's always me, Shoddy. But no, so make sure you go. It just got out there, so once I'm going to send out an email to all you got all the emails that are in the tournament tomorrow to let everybody know where to log in and all that stuff. But it is in there, and I hope you guys. Yeah, Brett, you're in, right? Brett, do you have 2 entries? You might have 2. I can't remember if you were one of them. I know we had 5 or 6 people that got double entered from qualifying in the different ones. But if you are, you've got 2 entries. I made sure everyone's got their double entries if they did double qualify. So 40 total entries in the tournament. So you just got to beat 39 other ones, guys. So everyone, good luck. The Magic Mike show, are they off? Are they on Christmas break?
I think they're on Christmas break. Yeah, we gave them the week off.
Yeah. I mean, they've earned it, I guess.
Oh,
there he is. Magic wants to know which is better,
the
Malibu Race or a bottle of Malibu. Definitely the Malibu Race. Although Halterman used to love Malibu.
No.
Wasn't that your drink?
No.
Malibu rum? Dude,
Malibu
it was
rum.
too.
No.
Rum.
I like rum, but that's not what Malibu is.
Is it Malibu rum?
It's like a pineapple tasting thing.
I thought it was Malibu rum.
Malibu rum. What are you thinking? I don't know.
Help us out, somebody. I thought it was. Anyways, what did you drink? Captain Morgan?
Captain Morgan.
Yeah, you drank that. No, yeah, it's a Malibu rum. It's coconut flavored liqueur. It's a rum, but it's a coconut flavored.
Oh, so Malibu is rum. Oh, okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Huh. No, I've had Malibu. I don't particularly like it. It's too I don't like coconut that well. So that's like how am I gonna like that?
The last time I saw Halterman drinking, well, it might not be the last time. The most memorable time I can remember him drinking the what was that? What was it was like was it the black or something like that? Why it was like it was like the harder rum of the Captain Morgan. Like Captain Morgan Black or something. I don't know what it was, but it was more heavy.
Yeah.
It was a more heavy duty.
Yeah.
And you drank it on Kentucky Derby. I don't know what year it was that.
No. It's I know why I know what you're thinking. It's clear. It's Captain Morgan, but it's clear. I don't know what they call it. Yes, that's why you're thinking it was Malibu because it kind of looks like it. Yeah.
And this dude,
Captain Morgan White or something, or
he ended up in the front yard of my parents' house on the ground and called me a couple hours later after the Derby and asked me who won.
That was California Chrome's year. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Captain Morgan White Rum. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. White, black. See, I don't look at colors. Okay. So
and I'll show you. It looks just like a Malibu bottle.
So that's why I'm thinking it.
Yeah. That's 100% why you're thinking it. Yeah. It makes total sense now. Hold on. I'll pull it up. Nope. More things in the way. How do I get the thing off? Oh, there it is. Yeah. See?
Oh, there you go.
It's like blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did some damage to you, buddy. Just killed
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, it's very good. They make these at Del Mar. They make their drinks with this. If you get rum, it's very good.
Yeah, rum is.
Whoops.
Last time I had rum was on my honeymoon, and I got really, really sick, and should have known better. That should have been an omen, but
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I haven't drank any since. So,
What was it? Oh gosh, so many things almost came out of my mouth, and I stopped every time. Every time.
you text me later if you want. I'll
No.
enjoy it. All right, guys. Yes, like Shadi says, Merry Christmas. Stay warm, everybody. I don't know about the trash bag part. I'm an excellent rapper. All my rapping is done. You see if my Christmas tree. The boys are pumped. But yes, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have one more show next week for the year. And we kind of thought about doing like a recap of the year, blinkers off. We kind of go over some of the big races of the year and kind of our biggest moments, and we'll, like kind of an award show type thing. And so be a fun way to kind of wrap up the year as we head into the new year. And these 2-year-olds turn 3, and we head towards the Kentucky Derby. But until then, I am Jared Welch. He is Aaron Halterman. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Good luck this weekend, and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Just have a great holiday, everybody.
Yes.
See you next time.